All right, welcome back everybody to the Sway and Batty League Season 9, Week 4. We're going to hop into Game 2 here. I'll be casting alongside AJ Asiro. How you doing after that first game?
It was starting nice and clean for, maybe 6 sets, but then we got our brutal reminder that SBL Season 9, Year of the Clown, as we went into a full fiesta. And, well, I feel great because I feel like the fiesta is not going to stop as we head into this game 2 between the 1 and 2 pot of greed and the 0 and 3 one trick bronies.
Yeah, no, it's this night is already shaping up to be a full-fledged clown fiesta. And
Yeah,
that's really gonna happen because we have Memenomics in the mid lane this week for pot of greed with Frisky Senpai moving to jungle.
Yeah, and on the opposing team, One Trick Bronies without Iro Hibbs, their attempted star player. I don't know. We're still this season's about figuring out whether he's a star player or a boosted animal, and it's looking like a little bit more of the latter. But this is a really interesting week to me because both of these teams are on bad losing streaks. Pottergreed won in week 1 without Camer, and we were kind of coronating them about 10 minutes into week 2 as the SBL champions, and they haven't looked good for a single minute since then. Meanwhile, One Trick Bronies haven't looked good at all this season, and one of those streaks has to stop in this game, and I'm excited to see who it is.
Yeah, I honestly thought like OTB they throughout the course of the season they don't play terrible. I mean their score line, the record really says otherwise. But there's been a few games where they've even had leads and just games that just sort of go back and forth. I think they were on the cusp of figuring things out, and like it seemed like they were incrementally getting a little bit better each week. However, like you said, with Hibbs out of the lineup, now I kind of question that because he not only was maybe he was the star player, but he's a veteran SBL player, has a lot of experience in fives, and is a decent enough shot caller from that support role. So everything gets kind of mixed up now. Um, but I, on the other side though, POG, I, I heard there was maybe some internal strife going on, but this is a bold switch up in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know enough about Frisky or Memenomics in action to really say for certain what I would think of this, but it, I don't know, man. To me, their problems were like you just have to learn how to play the game in a pre-made, not this role is bad or that role is bad. But I didn't see much good out of Frisky so far this season. I saw even less good out of Memenomics, so I can't imagine this swap could go much worse if both these guys feel comfortable enough in their new roles.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, let's talk about the draft here. How the champ select is playing out. Pretty standard bans across the board. Taking away the Braum though from Failed Destiny, I think is a pretty good ban. He seems to have a pretty high preference for it. Not only this season, which is odd because Braum's kind of been out of the meta. He's making a slight resurgence now, but it's really just one of Failed Destiny's go-to picks for a very long time, and is able to do some good things protecting his carries. But first pick overall for the draft was Nautilus for POG, going most likely up into the top lane. OTB following up with a Thresh and Zac pick of their own, and now we see POG locking in Vi and Varus.
Yeah, really kind of surprised to see that Nautilus first pick overall on a pot of greed. We kind of, when we think of Purple Pickleball, he's been a very excellent Nautilus player in past seasons, but you just kind of think of him as more of a carry top player. And he's going up against On the Wind, to, kind of infamous for not always being a super strong laner. This was kind of a week where, just looking at the rosters, I would have thought Purple on a carry trying to go off in laning phase and carry.
Yeah.
Hey, wake up.
However, if they want to go off in laning phase, they did pick up the Varus for Camer, who, if anyone's watched Professional League of Legends recently, he does some damage. Sometimes 100 to 0, getting that kill, and that's kind of what Camer does. It doesn't really matter who. So I'm really excited to see that combo.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that last ban there is pick was Sipper. What? All right. Okay. So no Lucian.
Um,
Okay. Yep.
okay.
Yep. So that Lucian lock-in, not actually Lucian, which is kind of sad because I love watching Lucian. He's a fun champion to not only play but to watch. But no, that's gonna be your Sivir pick. Pretty standard stuff
And there was
here.
also a Fiora ban.
Yes. Yeah.
They know that that's a Nautilus, and I guess unless they're prepping for Nautilus support, I guess that's a possibility I didn't think of.
Yeah, I think I mean it's safe if they really didn't think of any other bans, then why not shore up that potential mind game that POG is playing on them right now. But yeah, I guess we'll have to see. I think Phil Destiny has played Nautilus support in the past for sure. I mean he is definitely a tank player by the looks of it. And so that is a Lissandra pick. That's for real. Going over to One Trick Bronies, which is a champion I personally haven't seen in a really long time. What do you think about that?
I think One Trick Bronies are going for one of the simplest comps in the game to execute. Go really far forward, kill the enemy carry.
Yeah.
And with the Zac, Lucian, Lissandra, they're going to try to make Cameron's life hell. And for those of you that maybe forgets, which you shouldn't, because he's been excellent at it, Cameron loves to die.
Cameron?
Yeah. Do you watch that little boy?
Yeah.
You know that stuff like last game where the Mighty Wolf was like trying his hardest to go find a 5-man 100 to 0 MF ults to like turn the game around? Cameron starts doing that stuff when he's like 1-1, man.
Yeah, definite off week for Camer. I mean, really, like you said, the two losses they have so far is actually with Camer in the lineup. But that first game, week 2, when he came in, he went totally off. Huge scoreline. Team though wasn't able to bring it together. But looking like the draft is complete here. Rounding out POG's comp is going to be Kled and Corky. So Nautilus actually is going into the support role. So yeah, they faked us out, but OTB smart enough to ban the Fiora there. And then OTB finishing their lineup with the Aurelia, a classic on the win pick here. Aurelia versus Kled.
I have no idea how that matchup goes. But I'm going to count it on the win too, no, because he maybe can't always execute them, but he does know matchups. And Aurelia, his oldest pocket pick in the book, something back when he couldn't play anything else, he would just play Aurelia all the time in the SBL. And something that's kind of fallen out of League of Legends for a long time. I'm really excited to see her back. Always a champ I was kind of fond of. Which, I mean, it's a sad champ to be fond of. Like, I played in Season 2 and I hate myself champ to be a fan of, but I played in Season 2 and I do hate myself. I'm excited to see Aurelia back.
Yeah, no, that I am too. This is going to be a really interesting lane to watch here. Aurelia, in my opinion, is a really tough champ to play because there's very small windows of opportunity in the laning phase. Pretty much in the early to mid game, you really have to be on point. You got to play Aurelia very nicely to not get super behind.
There's super small windows of opportunity, and you can't just like let them pass you by. If you don't take any of those windows, you'll just be out of the game and completely useless.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I've seen On the Wind. I've played with On the Wind before in SBL, and I've seen him play Aurelia plenty of times. He is a very good Aurelia player, but as we've seen, at least in this season, there's been a lot of pressure going up top for him, and obviously he took a long break between seasons here, so there might still be some rust here. If things start going downhill though for this OTB lineup, with like let's say their Aurelia top carry can't get going, Lissandra in the mid lane can't get going, then your bottom half of the map's kind of on the weaker side as far as like total damage output goes. So it's while we agree that the comp is really good, very simple, you just go in, engage, and fight. There's some nuance in the laning phase that they have to get ahead on.
Yeah, fortunately, I've actually been studying League of Legends recently. Really interested in like strategy, never something I cared about much. And I found this brilliant. The Sun Tzu of League of Legends, he calls himself Weldon Green, taught me that the laning phase doesn't matter. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna throw out all that bullshit you just spewed and say we'll see OTB at 20 minutes. Let's just turn the stream off and come back in 20 minutes, folks. See when the game actually starts, because nothing that happens before has any impact on the winner of the game. Definitely not in the SBL. Definitely not this season in Fiesta Fest, the Clownable.
Yeah, no, totally. Definitely. Weldon's green statement goes through all levels of play, from bronze 5 all the way up to the top 3 Korean teams. So yeah, well, we will see how the first 20 minutes play out and who really is going to be the winner. Uh, okay, so enough about OTB. POG though, their composition, the composition to
What
me
composition?
it's it's interesting. I'm not sure what they were trying to piece together here. It looked like they had some kind of pick composition with the Nautilus and Vi and Varus. Those first 3 picks I really like. Kled, okay. Corky in the mid lane though. Now this is the point where the composition gets weird, because you have some champions that poke really well. You have some champions that engage very well. But in the sort of normal 5v5 scenario, it's, I think, a relatively weak composition here. It's gonna have to struggle to survive against the Zac and the Lissandra, and even Thresh. If Thresh lands a hook on really 4 of these champions, there's a lot of opportunity for OTB to just blow them up.
Yeah, but anyone that watched the last game knows sometimes the comp doesn't matter, and maybe it will just come down to some of these guys playing on comfort picks, especially for Frisky and Memenomics not playing the roles they've normally played. Maybe Memenomics could only play Corky, and they knew going into this they were going to play Corky.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point to bring up. Yeah, Memenomics, his first SBL appearance in the mid lane. So really, this week they probably said, "Hey, we're going to try you out mid. Here's a very small select pool of champions that we want you to work on," or basically just tell us the champions you're good at and just practice those to mastery. And Corky, he has been a mid laner for quite some time now, so I assume he has some experience on it in the past. But I mean, as far as the Corky versus Lissandra matchup, and not only that, but it's Memenomics against Sinister Beyblade. How do you think this one plays out?
Oh man. I want to talk about, like, I really prefer talking about how the players play out, but I just know so little about these two to say. But as a matchup, I feel really good for Memenomics here. He's going to want to push early, because Corky, even against a Zac, you're going to have a lot of room for outplay with the Valkyrie out. Just push Lissandra into her turret. Lissandra has one of the lowest base attack damages in the game and can burn through her mana super fast trying to CS under turret. Just shove her in early, shove her in often. Don't give her the chance to roam and make plays with a teleport or just by the old-fashioned roam. And try to accrue an advantage that you can turn into something that way.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would expect to see here in an ideal situation by a mid laner who knows how to play the matchup.
Yep, that's pretty. I'd have to agree with pretty much everything you just said there, and yeah, to go off the players, it's a good point. We don't know too much about these guys. Sinister Beyblade, this is his rookie season. We've never seen Meme in mid lane, so and Sinister Beyblade, to his credit or discredit, I should say, hasn't been truly the best mid laner in the league, but he hasn't really been the worst either. I'm still on the fence on where he sits. I think he's had some pretty serviceable performances so far in mid lane. So I guess we'll have to see. Maybe this is his breakout game going against someone who's not so adept at the mid lane. This is where he can really flex and bring his team their first win of the season.
So let's shift down one more matchup I want to talk about. Cameron versus Gabe O'Neill. And Gabe is somebody that coming into the season, I thought there was a fair amount of hype on. And I really feel like he's probably been the best player on One Trick Bronies through 3 weeks here. And I'm not sure it's really been close. I've noticed him doing a lot of little things right. It's just ADC in 2017. You all know the drill, and it hasn't been enough.
Yeah, no, totally. And he's by far the most consistent player on this team. Um, and didn't he win SBL last season?
No,
Or
no.
no?
He was on. He is going up against the man who robbed him of winning the SBL, Cammer. Gabe
Oh
O'Neill
yeah,
lost in the
yeah,
finals.
you're right.
So
Yeah.
did failed Destiny. I believe they went 5-0 in the regular season and then 0-3 in the finals. But I've never been able to confirm that fact from anybody on that team.
Yes, no, that now it's all coming back to me. You're right. But Gabe O'Neill, he did make it to the finals last season, and he was
Yeah,
pretty much one of the top carries
yeah.
in the
Last
season.
season, I think a lot of us thought of him as a complimentary part of that team. He was clearly the second best player on that team, but I mean, it was just it was Master Splinter and some dudes. But this season, I think now that we've seen Gabe on a second team, we've seen that he's actually a much better AD carry than I expected him to be.
Hmm.
When he first signed up for the SBL, I thought he was going to be a dirty Bane one trick, and I infamously put him really far down on my draft board because I said this guy has like 100 games of Bane and like 10 or less is all these other AD carries. Don't ever draft the Bane main. And so my team ended up with Madam Strip as ADC when I could have, had Gabe O'Neill.
Yeah, and
And I've been taking notes. I love watching AD carries. Gabe's solid, and not the kind of guy I expect to give Camera a bunch of free kills.
yeah, no,
Ultimately, what I'm going for here.
yeah, no, I totally agree with that. It's really, I mean, as far as these two ADCs go in the laning phase, this is just a support matchup in my mind, and having a lot of support bias here, it's a good, fun tank matchup too. There's some hooks involved. It's all about positioning and which support player is gonna be, that classic Aframu, phrase. You gotta give presence in lane. Who's gonna stand in front of the mini wave and help with their carry, get small incremental CS leads. Who's maybe the support that's gonna flash in and secure that CC when their jungler comes. It's really on them to make the bot lane their own.
Well, I guess we have the moments. Why don't we talk about the junglers? TD Garbage, formerly known as Thor, has he has put the garbage in TD Garbage so far this season in his jungle debut. I will say that much. Been really, really unimpressed by him.
Yeah, no, I'd have to agree with that as well. It, it's it's hard to say because I'm not sure if it's a matter of he's uncomfortable being a jungler, or is this a team problem? Like he doesn't know how to play um, jungle in an organized environment, because it's drastically different. If people didn't understand or know, if you ask any pro LCS jungler, jungling in organized play is so different than solo queue jungling. It's a whole different ball game. You really have to be on top of your macro and understanding map movements and things like that. And maybe that's something Thor's never taken seriously, or now he does, and he's still working out the kinks here. We're finally loaded in here to Summoner's Rift. You think we're gonna see some
I
level
love.
ones?
You know what? These two teams, both teams have hooks. I think there's a decent chance we're gonna see something here. Although we do see One Trick Brony is going for the full fan out. Purple Pickle Pie splitting off from his team, and maybe we're gonna see. Yeah, we do see Pot of Greed kind of pushing forward here, but they're gonna be seen. They just drop a ward and get out. Alas, level ones, they never last. After how clowny the first 2 weeks were, I'm not surprised that the entire league has been scared out of doing them.
Yeah.
I like your smile.
Man, you just gotta know fear, man. You just gotta walk in there with confidence. If you're sitting in a bush and you see the other team walking towards you in a bush, man, you should be scared because the other team has so much confidence. That's how it should play out.
I like your smile.
Gives me something to aim at.
I like your smile.
Makes a nice target.
I like your smile.
Gives me something to aim at. We can either do this the hard way.
I really appreciate Frisky Senpai giving me the full rundown on all the Demon Vi quotes.
Yeah, I did a little zoom in there to get the full effect here of all of the money riot is receiving from his skins. Anyway, we're in the laning phase.
Triggered.
Pretty standard starts here from the junglers, both starting on the bottom side of the map. Red and blue buffs respectively here.
Though that was a long leash out of Cammer. I could have Season 4 Dandy and I wouldn't have leashed that long.
Yeah, that's... I mean, they maybe really want to get Frisky Senpai on the Vi here. They want to get him going early. Maybe beat TD Garbage up there in the top lane. A little trading going on down in the bottom lane here. Hook resets, man. He's getting in there.
That was a one trade for OTB, and then Hook resets takes a few extra autos for no good reason.
Mm-hmm.
And ooh, in this top lane, we see Purple Picklebot going in as both top laners ding 2 on the win, gets the stun. Gonna save him from having a way bad time.
Now, man, just think of if top laners had Ignite nowadays. That there would have been a first blood right there.
I would love to play top lane with Ignite.
Yeah.
So now we see the level 2s coming out in this bot lane as Gabe O'Neal taking a lot of damage, but so is Failed Destiny. I think Destiny's in the more danger here, but no, Cammer's playing this forward. And...
Ooh, that was close. Gabe O'Neal using the spell shield at the wrong time actually doesn't block anything. But good control there. He didn't blow Summoner Heal or Flash. Hook lands onto Cammer.
Oh,
Maybe he'd go right to the play into the tower. Tower shot. Heal comes through.
Oh,
Nothing.
Cammer
Oh.
is so fortunate to survive. In Destiny, you don't want to hook anybody closer to Cammer.
Ooh,
I
yeah.
see this mid lane TD Garbage coming in. They force the Valkyrie out of Meme, and he's gonna be able to just walk away.
Yeah. Not the greatest angle there, but really the elastic slingshot, it's so low for the range at level 3. You're not gonna be able to get that nice side lane. Oh, Hook lands on a Field Destiny. He's in a 1v2 situation. He has to walk all the way back. Hook lands on the wall to
He's
gain
gonna have
some
to blow a
distance.
summoner. Watch Gabe O'Neal. He's just waiting for a Q cooldown,
Yep.
and he forces the flash out of Destiny.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, top lane on the wind, trying to go in onto purple here, laying down the damage. Actually, there's a lot of minions though on for the red side. But look in from behind. Frisky Senpai went around through Tri-Bush. Directed camera, please. And he's going to make it out safe. Wards the bush again. But Frisky Senpai maybe caught in a 1v2 situation. The slingshot
nice
lands. Yeah, flash has to be blown. And no
Can we
one will follow.
appreciate how long Frisky Senpai had to stop against that wall to make sure he could get the flash? I appreciate that. Like, I can't screw this up on stream. But now Purple's in a lot of danger. He has a flash available, but Thor looking like he wants to go for a dive as this big creep wave is about to crash. And no, he's going to do what every jungler does. Back off like a pussy. Go for jungle camps and deep wards.
Yeah, I don't know though. That was really the opportune time for TD Garbage to get up there. If anything, you blow the flash and then just walk away and just take that advantage. But yeah, there's a pretty big minion wave there on the wind. Still full health too. Definitely some opportunity to bully there, but taking the jungle camps as well. Gonna set Frisky Senpai a little bit further back as far as the jungling goes. And a 10 CS lead accruing for Camera in the bot lane.
Yeah, Camera's... this is a huge creep wave that's about to crash. We have to assume Gabe will be able to get most of it. So it won't be quite as big, but still, any CS lead at all with how badly that level 2 fight had gone for Camera and Destiny. He's got to be happy about.
Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of whether TD Garbage is going to see that and execute on it with the summonerless Camera in the bot lane. That's a very good thing if you're playing against this POG lineup. Taking Camera down early, nothing bad can really come from that. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, just some trading going on. Very even in CS. Nothing too crazy. Hook lands onto Hook resets. Failed Destiny going in. Oh, very close hook from Hook resets there.
Yeah, and that's all it's going to take to turn this lane back on its ass, but it is just barely going to miss there. We see both junglers in the neighborhood.
Yeah. Oh, Hook lands onto Hook resets once again. Failed Destiny going in. Frisky Senpai forces the flash out of Hook resets. good solid gank there. Meanwhile, TD Garbage is floating around that dragon in the river.
Why was Cameron so forward?
Oh, no!
He takes the hook, takes the play, takes the exhaust, does not have a flash. First blood going out to Gabe O'Neal as all of the jungle is jumping out. Destiny is very deep. Oh, the hook gets flayed and a double kill onto Gabe O'Neal.
Oh my.
It's like Cameron heard me saying he had to be 1-1 to play like a fool. He's like, I'll show you. I can do it at 0-0.
Yeah, I honestly was absent-mindedly like looking at the mini-map thinking, oh, okay, this trade's over. What the hell? Cameron tonight, positioning very questionable. Nets 2 kills for OTB here. And a very early 7-minute and 30-second dragon. It's going to be an Ocean going over to OTB. Meme looking for the steal.
If you're going to take an early dragon, Ocean arguably the best because it's going to give you the most power in the laning phase, especially against all these poke champs that Pot of Greed are running.
Yeah, I mean, it pretty much just helps any lane, any way you spin it. It doesn't even have to be a losing lane. Even if it's a lane that's winning and you already have the advantage, it's just going to make the advantage that much better. You can even bully people under towers. I could see that happening with On the Wind and Purple up here. It happened a little bit earlier in the laning phase, and once On the Wind starts pushing this lane back, I think they could start bullying Kled again under tower with Zac in his ultimate once he gets it.
So keep an eye on this bot lane. This is a huge power spike coming out for Gabe O'Neal now on a BF sword to a Tear of the Goddess on the other side. As we see, I think Wind wants to really go for this. A lot of damage going out both ways in this top lane. As Purple Pickle Pie now running for his life has to blow the flash.
Yeah, and that's the Aurelia mechanics I was talking about in the draft. On the Wind, very, very good at this champion, knows the ins and outs. He didn't flash after with the ult charges. I would have definitely flashed and gone for the killer, but
I
he
don't
knows.
think he could have secured it. And like you said earlier, that's the thing with Irelia. You have to be able to take those little power windows when you get them. But if you don't know what the opposing Irelia can do to you properly, like it's looking like Purple doesn't, you feel so oppressed because Irelia is just point-clicking you in winning trades. And she just seems like a genius. When you're losing to an Irelia, it is so infuriating. Maybe that's why I like her so much.
Yeah, I mean, she really is like, I know the laning phase, I know this champ, and I'm going to show you how. Hook lands on the field Destiny, though. Elastic Slingshot's going to miss. Flay back onto Destiny. Use the depth charge to try to walk it out and get out. Flash. Hook misses the wall barely, but I don't think it would have mattered. Sinister Beyblade with the roam down into bottom lane. Helps secure the 3rd kill. All 3 kills going over to Gabe O'Neal in this Sivir now. No dragon to take, though. Just some pressure here in the bot lane. Memenomics, he's in the pixel bush. He sees TD Garbage, gets the damage down. But now they have to get out. Hook lands on the Memenomics! Claw comes through. He's got to get locked up. Flash, but it won't be enough. Ultimate comes out from Zac, and now they're going to keep going on to Frisky Senpai. The exhaust came through. Will he get out? Flays! Has to flash over the wall.
Oh, man. A really early flash out of Garbage and Sinister Beyblade there. I don't know what they were flashing when they did, and then they no longer had them when they needed them.
Yeah.
I think that should have been another kill secured.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I mean, they even flayed away the Q from Vi, which is her main escape tool in that situation. But really, 4 kills to 0, OTB, winning all of these fights pretty handily. I mean, they're really not fights; they were just well executed ganks.
Yeah, 2,000 gold. You'll take that at 10 minutes every day. There's some NALCS analysis for you.
Yeah. And
we see a lot of bodies coming up into this top lane. They want to stop this dive before it happens, but they won't be there fast enough. On the way goes under the tower. He's going to die though. Blows the flash for no reason. Kills for meme and wins.
Yeah, just a little late on helping out their teammate there, Purple Pickle Pie. But it's good that they were able to at least answer it. Good roaming out of the mid and jungle from POG.
That is just it if you're purple, that's such a tilting play to be a part of. You think you're doing such a good job with the bait, setting up the play, and Destiny is, I thought was gonna be a more. Oh, I thought there with the play hits on the camera. Jeez, takes so much damage from Gabe.
The ricochet damage, and Gabe O'Neill, he's landing all his boomerangs too. I mean, he's landing at least a half of the damage from boomerang blades off of every one of these hooks. And yeah, Cameron and Phil Destiny really looking out of sync today. Hook lands.
There comes the hook on the Destiny. But Vera's ult gonna go onto Gabe as Kled shows up. Wind trying to teleport in here, but Gabe has the flash. He is completely out of this fight. Now Hook resets into Wind, trying to go for something. Wind gets exhausted. He's going to try to pick up this kill. He's going to get on the Nautilus, but Gabe dies on the other end. And now so many members have shown up in this fight for Pot of Greed as they are just wiping one-trick bronies off of the map. 1 trick, 2 trick, 3 trick, dead.
Yeah, and a 3 for 2 in favor of POG, so they're answering right back. Good teleport and roaming from their teammates there to help secure those kills, and maybe they weren't able to save any of their teammates that started the fight, but yeah, they're able to at least pick up the kills on the backside. Meanwhile, while they get this bottom lane tower, first brick actually going over to POG. We have Beyblade pushing it out in the mid, TD Garbage up top, trying to get everything he can onto that tower. Mid lane looks like it's not going to be answered with this push. It's going to be really close. Camera's here.
Camera's there in time. That is huge.
Yeah.
Because once this Lissandra starts roaming, we're going to really be able to see her power. And Pot of Greed wants to delay that for as long as possible.
Yeah, people might think like, oh, I got the tower so low. I mean, it's essentially a dead tower, right? It's like you didn't really truly save it. It's going to go down eventually in this game. But it's all about back timing.
Yeah, and there's also a lot of wave clear for Pot of Greed.
Correct. Yes. Oh, Miminox, he gets caught out just walking around in his own jungle. A lot of pressure being exerted onto this mid lane now from OTB. Hook lands onto Failed Destiny. He might not make it out of here. He does have his flash available though, but he's just going to get continually locked up and chooses not to use it just to go down there. So a free kill going over to OTB. And QBC, they're really, or not POG, they're really just pushed into their own jungle. They're bullied out of this dragon now with no support.
Do you see Frisky and Miminox look like they're setting up like they want to do something at this dragon, and they might have forced one-trick bronies to back off. They pulled it out of the pit, and they're going to secure this before Frisky can come in, I think. Really awkward scenario there, but a dragon taken. But meanwhile in this top lane, nope, just kidding. They're going to walk away.
Yep.
Man, I saw so many cool plays happening there, and none of them did.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, just the support pickoff turns into another dragon going over to OTB. And yeah, top lane though, these trades are getting very, very dangerous here, especially for Purple Pickle Pie. He's getting beat up. 2/3 of the Trinity Force completed for On the Wind on this Aurelia. Ninja Tabby already completed as well, which is really big when you're trading against a heavy physical damage dealer like Kled. And really, this whole lineup for POG, only magic damage source really is Corki, which is sort of half at best. That might introduce some problems later into the game with not having the mixed damage types.
Yeah, and looking like Pot of Greed not going to prioritize holding on to that mid lane turret. So the wave clear I stopped mid-sentence about earlier, not going to matter. And now the player I'm going to be keeping an eye on is the Beyblade. He's going to need to try to force a play anywhere he wants. But you're 15 minutes into the game as Lissandra. You need to start doing something. And, ooh, in this top lane, Purple Pickle Pie taking a slow flash knockup out of TD Garbage.
Oh, yeah, he draws him back in.
Turns it, almost gets the passive. He's flashing forward, but that's Zach. He has a passive. But you're Kled. You have teammates, and they're here. They've killed On the Wind with his flash available. They've killed Zach as well, and now they're gonna take the top lane tier 1.
Wow, yeah, I mean, we're all tunneled in on Purple Pickle Pie, and we see him flashing for that kill, and I'm thinking, what, Zach passive? But really, once again, Miminox and Frisky Senpai, this duo on POG, so good at roaming, come through the lane and help their top laner out, get back into this game. Depth Charge comes through onto Sinister Beyblade. Teleport for Purple into the mid-tier 2 to try to help. And Failed Destiny, he's going to go down. See you later. Sinister Beyblade flexing now on this Lysandra. Camera only one hit away from finishing off. Hook resets here.
Oh, but Hook resets, gets out, gets the exhaust out, but I don't know if Camber is going to stop.
Oh, the teleport came out from on the
nice.
wind. He's trapped now. He has to run all the way to his bottom tier 1. Will he get out? I think he will.
Suddenly that flash on the wind blew needlessly in the last fight, coming back to haunt them because a flash would have secured a kill on the Camber here. But it may be not necessary because he's popping the ult. Oh, but Camber with a nice flash. Camber trying his hardest on the wind.
Oh my god!
Almost gets the kill. Those creeps, they're trying.
Oh my god. Camber, that... I mean, he played that perfectly, really. Like, there's literally only one... There's no room for error there. Anything went wrong there, he dies.
You know what they say? You gotta take the walk in front of you creeps, get hooked Camera with the kite out 2 members, and nearly kill them both Camera.
Yeah.
You don't get one or the other.
Yeah. Yeah, but as far as the game goes, this is a POG gold lead, despite the kills and the dragons. They actually have taken a tower advantage. 3-1 now. They just have to work on that pesky tier 1 mid, which I don't think OTB is going to give up anytime soon. They've rotated their duo into the mid lane, so you're going to have Sivir wave clear, clearing that out pretty consistently now.
Yeah, OTB gets so much power out of that turret being up and the opposing one being down, and they should be trying to hold on to that for a long time.
Yeah, it's really on POG to try to figure out a play here on how they can play either around keeping the mid lane up and maybe pressuring more side waves. But really, I think the best option is try to figure out how we can maybe pick a fight in mid lane and take that down with the numbers advantage. You're not going to be... I don't think you're really going to be diving with this composition. Like we said, like this composition doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, you have the Vi and the Nautilus 2 tower dive, but it's a matter of whether your carries actually want to follow up with you. Purple Pickle Pie on Kled, he launches the ultimate on the wind, already down to half. Damage is pretty freaking crazy for this Kled, and this is going to be a stat check now, and on the wind going to lose that one. Purple Pickle Pie getting the solo kill into the top lane. The fight ensues into the mid. Chain of Corruption goes out. It's going to not lock up everyone from OTB. Failed Destiny going to pick up the first kill. Vi ultimate comes out into Gabe O'Neal. Flash comes through, but it won't be enough. He will go down as well. Hook resets, trying to use the Flay to stay alive, and Hook lands. Will it be enough? Camera's here. TT Garbage, he's going back in to try to peel for his teammate. Flay back into the tower, actually. But, okay, whoa, Camera, see you later. He oversteps a bit. Now TT Garbage, he's chasing. 1v2, misses the Q, but will he land the slingshot? Flash out of Destiny. And the fight is over. And now it's a kill lead, though, for Pot of Greed.
Yeah, it's the Clown Fiesta that keeps on giving, I think. That's what this game is quickly turning into. Do you ever feel like sometimes, like before a game, you talk about all the macro options teams are going to have available, and 20 minutes in, when the game actually begins, you realize none of that mattered, given the personnel on the field?
Yeah.
Like we're talking about basketball, but these guys are playing soccer, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So we see the basketball playbook, but then they're playing soccer down on the field. Yeah. So 20 minutes in here, 3K gold lead now for Pot of Greed. They have the Dragon control. It's gonna be a Mountain Drake. Purple and Frisky have already started it, and it looks like OTB, they are not gonna contest this whatsoever. Their jungler's just coming back from base now. So clean Dragon take for Pot of Greed, getting on the board with their first Dragon of the game. Now the Kled ult is launched. They're gonna speed up his whole team. They're going in. They're just charging straight into the Baron River to try to take out OTB, but they will be able to back out safely on the window. Maybe greeting for the tower. Nope, he's going to get out safely as well. So a tower for a Dragon trade there at the end of the day. And teams move back into mid lane, looking for some dominance. Oh, POG really hoping to get this mid tower, as we said earlier. But the wave clear from Gabe O'Neal's Sivir. On the hunt's popped. Failed Destiny. Gonna get Flay back.
And a nice blackboard on a hook resets, gets the pull out of Beamonomics, who has the flash out, but TD Garbage gets the knockup, and Beamonomics has no way out. Another kill for Gabe O'Neill.
Oof. Okay, yeah, so out of the two teams, they really both have an ultimate that says, hey, let's go fast. On the Hunt, performing a little bit better there. Able to pick up 2 kills just from the sheer amount of CC chain that they have in their composition. Memonix having to blow both summoners as well. And teams going back into stalemate onto the mid tower here. On the wind, he's going to put pressure up top, has the teleport up. Same for purple.
Yeah, man, I'm glad we're only 2 minutes into this game because I really have no idea where we're going.
I mean, it's pretty much tied, right? Like it's just like start of the game essentially.
It's tied. You have the gold and some kind of I don't know. Like I just look at the map and I'm like, who are the power players? You have Frisky Senpai and Gabe are really the only ones that are super far ahead of anybody, and I guess Memonomics is a pretty big lead on Beyblade as well. But it doesn't feel like those are... I don't know, just given the way this game's playing out, it doesn't feel like anyone's going to be able to translate those into something big without another team fight or two.
And really, I think OTB has already shown that they have the superior team fighting team, and as long as they're landing the first CC, whether that's a hook or a slingshot or a Lysandra claw in with the snare, once one of those lands, it's going to be a chain CC into an inevitable death. It's really going to have to be either a clever map movement out of POG to force some kind of numbers advantage in a side lane, or getting the pick out in the open, getting that Vi ultimate, getting that depth charge, eliminating one of the members, preferably Gabe O'Neill, their main source of wave clear, and then just taking towers for free. And as we can see, POG, they are doing just that, pushing up this mid lane wave.
Yeah, they'll get a few hits before Wind can show up, and One Trick Brony is respecting that. Damage goes down to that tower pretty fast. The hook is only going to hit Destiny, who, as squishy as he is, not the engaged target POG wants. Or sorry, OTB wants. And so they are going to give that turret up, finally.
Really dangerous, though, for POG, and they played it well. They played it really safe. Purple warding over into the Wraith camp there. TD Garbage and On the Wind looking for that flank, obviously looking for that slingshot in from Shadow, or the Fog of War, but not able to get it. They just they push up. Memonomics.
But here comes Kled.
Oh man, Purple, he's going in. He's gonna maybe get locked up. Box tries to zone, but there's a lot of stuns coming out from OTB. I mean, they got knocked up themselves here. Hook into tower for Failed Destiny, and he will survive. So 1 for 0 in favor of POG. What are they gonna use with this advantage?
Yeah, that's smite down for One Trick Bronies, and we see Pedigree running towards the Baron Nashor.
Yeah,
there's gonna be no smite to oppose, but Sinister Beyblade, Sinister Beyblade is the one to watch. He has teleport available. He has Frozen Tomb. He needs to come in and make a play on this super low health Baron pitch, which On the Wind is threatening to come in on. He has the flash available, and Sinister Beyblade still hasn't started teleporting. And now Sinister Beyblade is just now teleporting, but Baron goes down, Cammer secures it, and Pot of Greed gets out. A huge mistake out of One Trick Bronies, but now Purple Pickle Pie going forward for no good reason, but no, Cameron gets the kill at the hook resets. Are you kidding me?
Oh my god, Cameron flashed in just for the Q arrow there, not only saving his teammate, but securing another kill for himself. Yeah, this game really blowing up now. POG securing that Baron, and not a lot to answer with for OTB.
Yeah, there's a really nice 1-4 comp available for Pot of Greed now that they have that Baron available. And I really feel like they would probably almost prefer to 1-4 to 5-man push a lane.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that in the draft. You're right, this is a much better 4-1 in my mind than a team fight. But I think they already got the advantages they needed from this composition. They're entering a zone where Corky and Varus Poke's going to be very potent in siege situations, but Yeah, as long as they can put some pressure onto the side lane with Purple Pickle Pie, I think they're going to be able to get a lot of tower damage
And
for free.
one matchup we haven't really caught in a while, Purple Pickle Pie's pulled up to a 1,300 gold lead on the Wind, which it feels like the last time we talked about those two, on the Wind was forcing Purple under his tower at will.
Yeah.
So Purple has played these team fights very intelligently and accrued a nice 317 stat line. Been one of the star players on his team in getting into this game.
Yeah. I mean, the way he's playing Kled, it looks very scary. There seems to be a lot of hesitation out of fighting Kled from
Dude,
OTB.
no one knows what the fuck Kled does. Why do you think everyone bans against that guy?
Oh.
Mimanovic with a super costly hook throws away a ton of the Baron advantage under an enemy tower.
Yeah, it's between minions, Mimanovics, a little butthurt, a little upset that hook might have landed Cammer. He's very dangerous, Phil Destiny.
Is on. As we see, One Trick Pony's gonna get Destiny for what feels like the 100th time in this game. No, he actually gets a flash out, but the follow through is coming. The Kled ult used defensively.
Ooh, that was fun. Yeah, they go fast, they run away. That's really nice. But yeah, I mean, to go back to the whole thing there, Mimanovics is the positioning. You can't do that in situations like this. You got to stand behind your front line. Even blows the flash there too when really he shouldn't.
That reminds me of when, he's a jungler going to the mid lane. That reminds me of other times we've seen tankier players switch onto a carry role and take a lot of hooks to the face in costly situations. And I know you ended up switching back to the support because of it. Maybe Mimanovics going to struggle with that transition as well.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. Transitions in the SBL can be a little rough.
Classic, it was Season 7, Week 1. You were playing Ashe and there was a blitzcrank on the enemy team. I don't know if you forgot that game.
Well, I don't forget because I was playing Corki actually. Yeah, and I got hooked a couple times. But who doesn't get hooked?
Some people. Most of them, even if they do get hooked, it's less than you. That's all I'm saying. Mimanovic still has 4 to go. Before we start handing out the 30 award.
Yeah. Oh my god. It wasn't okay, so we got POG in the mid lane here. No Baron on Mimanovics now. They're looking to get some tower damage, but TD Garbage, he's in the shadows. He's waiting for that slingshot opportunity. Purple Pickle Pie, he's also in the wings too, but he is seen with the ward.
One of them, Mimanovics gets hooked again! Maybe that 3 to go is more realistic than we thought.
Yeah. Oh,
he is. I think even Hook Resets was surprised that hook hit onto Meme and not somebody else.
Yeah, no, this. Yeah, maybe that's getting to him, but you just gotta stand back. That's what I've learned. Don't even put yourself in range.
Absolutely. But back into the big picture here. Really awesome Baron anti-power play coming out of One Trick Bronies, who. That was about 1,000 gold negative power play with the Baron that Pot of Greed got.
Yeah, that's huge. Honestly, in this game, League of Legends, if the other enemy team gets Baron and you do that, and you hold them to basically nothing, and yourself actually get some gold, I think that's pretty huge, right? You've now essentially wasted
absolutely.
like 5-6 minutes of the enemy team having a lead.
In a general philosophy sense, that's the best thing that can happen in League of Legends, short of like taking the Nexus.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very impressive. Good stalling out of OTB here, and especially with a low wave clear composition. And really, I mean, it might have been probably the fault of Mimanovics getting caught out there on their first push.
Was absolutely the fault of Mimanovics.
Yeah,
it still happens.
Yeah, it still happened, and it's still OTB repelling the push that went onto their tier 2 mid tower. Purple Pickle Pie, this Kled damage with red buff now is just nuts. So yeah, he's just going for the dive. Yeah.
Oh, but TD Garbage shows up, and Wind is able to just barely flash up, and now Beyblade coming over the wall. Purple.
Oh, but that's gonna be enough. I don't know if there was a tower taken there in the top lane. I don't think there was. Nope. But they have pushed the wave into the top lane. That's the distraction they really needed. Purple blowing his flash, but also on the Winds as well. And now we have a 4-man push into the top lane.
This is the chance. And On the Wind knows it. He wants to go for this engage here as he's diving on the camera, but he's a little disjointed from his team as Purple Pickle Pie coming for the deep flank teleport. He is onto this backline, and now we see the 4 collapsing out of One Trick Bronies. Or sorry, being collapsed on by One Trick Bronies. And Purple Pickle Pie picks up the kill. Oh, this is this is not good for One Trick Bronies.
No, yeah, that. I mean, it was a kind of a far-reaching engage there on the wind. Goes into the camera, just blows the spell shield.
Yeah, and it's only Hook Resets alive. I think this is going to be a game-ending push coming out of Pot of Greed as Purple is going down to take a second inhibitor, so maybe he doesn't think that he can end here.
No, I don't think they can end here. I think they're going to just take the 2 side inhibitors.
They had 2 AD carries, man.
Yeah, I know.
They had another wave.
TD Garbage is up now. Beyblade's up in 7. I don't. Yeah, there might have been a window of opportunity.
It would have been close. I don't know.
Yeah,
but let's go back to that last team fight. Wind had the right idea there, but he did not communicate it to his team, and he did not recognize that his team was not on the same page as him. They had to engage there while they had the 5v4 advantage. I mean, that's as good of a chance as you're going to get. They had such a huge window to blow open a carry before Purple could have gotten to that fight, but no one was within 1,000 yards on the wind, as he still almost takes out Cammer, but it was not enough, and it ends up costing 2 inhibitors for the One Trick Bronies.
Yeah, it's 6k gold lead now for Pot of Greed. Another dragon up in a minute. It's gonna be an Infernal Drake, which would be, I mean, good for either team, but really it might be the nail in the coffin for OTB if it went over to POG. This team benefiting a lot from that Infernal Dragon. TD Garbage, he might be getting caught out trying to set up for a Baron defense. Depth Charge comes through from Pickleby on the Kled, trying to land the hook, but the nice Lantern from Hook resets, but it won't be enough. Camera with the long range Q, Chain of Corruption onto Gabe O'Neal. That's the carry they're looking for, and he gets taken out. Frisky Senpai now leading the charge. Zodius comes through, another invulnerability from Beyblade. Will he get the hook? He does! Wow, not able to block the hook there from Pot of Greed, but I think that this might be a game-ending scenario now. Nope, just kidding. They're gonna go to Baron.
And if Baron's up, that Infernal Dragon's up, you can't possibly push
forward.
No! And now Memenomics has to flash defensively, as he does not know what his team is trying to do there.
Ooh, big miscommunication from his team there. They did not walk back together through the jungle as 5. And a flash bone.
Yeah, Pot of Greed did kind of blow a lot of time here. I don't know if it's gonna matter because TD Garbage is just spawning, but there are both teleports available if One Trick Bronies want to try something here, but they are not. Second variant of the game going this time to Pot of Greed, who look like they're gonna go take that Infernal Dragon before they back the right play, and then they're gonna just casually walk up to mid lane and try to end.
Not before securing Dead Infernal Drake. Did they? Yep. They're gonna take this, and then this will be the last Drake before the Elder Dragon comes through. There's probably a lot of gold in their pockets. Let's see. Yeah, have 1,000 gold for top jungle and mid for POG, but they're not opting to back quite yet.
No, this is a good play. Don't give One Trick Bronies a chance to even settle their base.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're just going to keep going. They have the side lanes pushed with super minions coming through now. And the Baron. Oh, big one lands onto Gabe O'Neal, and that's going to be half of his health gone.
Yeah, Purple was really far away there. They had a chance. But instead, Gabe going to take half his health, and that's the last inhibitor tower going down. One Trick Bronies not going to be decisive to try and go for the fight before the inhibitor gets engaged on. Wind has been pinged out here in the setup. And it's going to be that classic watch your Nexus turrets go down type of game.
They know he's back there. They're playing sandwiched here on the camera. He's way on the left side of the fight. He gets hooked in, flayed. Now he goes down extremely fast. On the wind, gonna pick up that kill, but failed Destiny picks him up on the backside. But don't worry, Pickle Pie is devastating the backline for One Trick Bronies. TD Garbage trying to stay alive, trying to land some CC, but it's not going to be enough. He is now greatly outnumbered. 4 dead for OTB, and this will be a game win for Pot of Greed. Just a little over 35 minutes here.
Yeah, just like we called it, the 2 carry threat coming through for Pot of Greed between Purple Pickle Pie and Frisky Senpai? Just like we called it. As Cameron was really just along for the ride there.
Yeah.
But awesome games out of those top 2 members of the map out of Pot of Greed, improving to 2-2, and One Trick Bronies, well, it was competitive for a while without him, so I guess they can say that. But if that team was on tilt before, tonight definitely didn't do anything to help.
No, that is quite true here. Who do you think we pull up? I mean, Purple Pickle Pie or Frisky Senpai. I don't think we've ever talked to Frisky yet. He's not a rookie, but I don't think we've talked to him quite.
Oh, let's see if we can get the young man in here.
Yeah.
All right. Password has been whispered. The Frisky one is about to join us.
Yeah, and I have the damage dealt chart up on the stream here, and Cammer 39,000, close to 40,000. Next closest is 26,000 from Memenomics. It's Cammer. I mean, yeah, despite his questionable positioning in that first half of the game, he definitely knows how to deal the damage.
User joined your channel.
And
So I just want to say I got an update. We really did talk to Frisky week one, so we were wrong there. He isn't that funny.
oh shit.
That's good. That's good. No, we watched
Okay.
you. We watched
Yeah.
you. You were very good this game.
Yeah.
No, that's okay.
We were just discussing beforehand who we had not interviewed. And we are like, oh, we definitely haven't talked to Frisky.
Yeah.
But
I mean, like 2 seasons ago we talked, but since then, no.
it still came down to you because you were excellent in this game, picking up for a lot of the slack that your team had kind of created in the early game. I guess I'm just curious. Let's go a little bigger picture. I want to start bigger picture. Week 1, you guys win without Cammer.
Yep.
Week 2, 10 minutes. You guys have Cammer like 10,000 gold ahead of the opposing AD carry.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you guys had won. Like, I was ready to just give you guys the trophy right there.
Dude, same.
And then, obviously, from about then to the start of today, everything that could have gone badly did. What was the team morale like going into this game? Obviously, you guys kind of went for a roster, a role swap, which is one of the all-time telltale signs of being on tilt. But it worked.
I mean, honestly, I can say for me at least, I was super excited because jungle is my favorite thing to play, and getting a chance to play it again is always nice. I don't know. We were all pretty good. We were all hyped. We all thought we could do it, and obviously we did.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the role swaps, like Swift just said, working out for you guys here. Now going up against OTB specifically, what were you guys aware of? What did you guys think you needed to do to win the game today against OTB?
I think I'm gonna quote Camera on this one. They're all bad, so it doesn't matter what we do.
Okay. Okay. That's good to know. I mean, it like you said, doesn't matter. Very little pregame planning required against OTB, in your opinion. As far as the early game, how it started shaking out, it looked a little rough for your bottom lane, for your top lane. Memenomics, Zacky's holding his own in the mid lane. What is it like for you when you see that in organized play and you see that some of your lanes are down? What do you do as a jungler?
I mean, honestly, I was just trying to figure out what we could do to get back in it. Really, just take slow steps. Don't do anything too big. Obviously, that bot lane play kind of put us back in it, getting the first blood tower. That was all. I believe that was Zach's call that we followed there, or memes. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, just do little baby steps. Don't go too ham, but figure out what we can do to get ourselves back in. That's all it is, really.
Yeah, nice. And I've noticed that you and Memenomics, you guys really stuck together in the early game. You helped up on some roams top lane, even when bottom lane. It seemed like you guys were always paired up. What is that synergy like? Has that always been there?
I mean, I've known the kid since my freshman year of high school, so the synergy's definitely there. We're pretty on point on following together and getting stuff done, but we'll see how it continues.
All right. Swift, you got any closing thoughts?
No closing comments, but I did have Twitch chat correct me. We did not interview Frisky after week 1. It was Phoenix Blaze.
Yeah.
I wholeheartedly apologize because I should know better than to think Master Splinter has any fact correct that he messages me.
Nah, it's alright, man.
So, my apologies.
It's
Congrats
okay.
on the
We
win.
both,
You guys,
both start with Fs.
you guys looked good,
Yeah.
and I hope you guys can keep it going next week because your team has the makings of being good, and the SBL is more fun when a few teams are good.
Dude, I know. It's definitely a lot more fun.
All right, and yeah, well, that'll wrap up Game 2 here, folks. We'll be back shortly with Game 3. It's gonna be Coffee House going up against Gruden's QB Camp. Don't touch that browser.